KPAM News Time coming up on 7:22. If you've been following our Get Ready series, hopefully you're putting together your own survival kit. Our very own Mark Provo took his kit to the Red Cross and found out he's still got a ways to go.
The stuff I put together all fits in a big orange-colored plastic box.
We have a lantern here. This is a good start because we anticipate that there will be no electricity in the Pacific Northwest for about 3 months after the Cascadia subduction zone. So having a way to turn the lights on, such as a lantern and a flashlight, absolute necessity.
Got a big flashlight, too.
Good. So we have a crank radio and a solar radio here, and this is an Eton radio, which means it can actually charge your cell phone as you crank it as well with the dynamo. Radio is going to be incredibly important after the Cascadia subduction zone because the helicopters flying over the city are going to be where we get the most reliable information on what to do and where to go and where not to go after the Cascadia subduction zone.
Red Cross disaster preparedness expert Steve Eberlein. Telephones, landline, and cellular are going to be iffy. The cell towers that survived the big shake will run on generator power for a while until the fuel runs out.
Texts tend to be more reliable in the immediate aftermath of an earthquake because they can kind of spin around in cyberspace until there's a moment of connectivity, at which point it'll connect.
My kit contains 24 bottles of water. I need triple that.
Yes, you've got a life straw. Life straw is a great way to make water safe where you might find it, especially if we're in the rainy months of fall. This is a great option. But we recommend having 14 gallons of water per person.
My kit also contains
single burner gas stove, 8 cans of fuel for it, which is going to, if I use it minimally, is going to keep it going for weeks, and a fair amount of canned food and survival food.
Good. And I assume that you've got a can opener.
After the quake, eat from your freezer and refrigerator first. Things will spoil. Then get into your emergency food supply. Steve likes my little first aid kit, complete with instructions. I've added bigger gauze bandages and tape, disinfectant, over-the-counter medication to treat wounds. And don't forget the toothbrush, more important than you might think.
Toothpaste, combs, mouthwash, things like this, they're actually of psychological importance.
We then dug into Steve's survival kit, things I still need to add to mine.
We have ponchos, because we live in the Pacific Northwest and it rains a lot, and I might not be able to stay in my house after the earthquake. I keep a tent in my kit, but we also keep a tarp so that if it happens in November, I'm able to place it underneath our tent to stay dry. Again, I have a long strand of nylon rope. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but rope is one of those things like duct tape. You can do hundreds of things with it.
I need garbage bags and toilet paper for the latrine I'm going to build. And a small pry bar, says Steve, to force the door if the earthquake jams it shut. I went through a couple of pretty severe earthquakes down in the Bay Area, including Loma Prieta, which trashed some parts of San Francisco, knocked out the power for several days. When the Cascadia quake hit, says Steve Eberlein, we're talking months without power, running water, telephones. You won't be able to drive because of severe damage, even to back roads. It'll be cut by landslides.
At the very least, you need to have 2 weeks. 2 weeks of provisions, 2 weeks of water, 2 weeks of medication, 2 weeks of food as a beginning point. If you can do more, do more. If you can get more to help your neighbors, please get more.
So I've got some work to do. Mark Provo, News Talk 860, KPAM.
And Mark Provo joins us live in studio now with more on this. And, listen to your kid. It sounded like you're in pretty good shape there, but according to your expert there, maybe
I thought I was. The thing that really hit me here, Charlie, was I walked out of there, I guess, all shaken, because I went through Loma Prieta in San Francisco. I went racing into work when the quake hit during the World Series game, and drove right through the Marina District just as all the fires were breaking out. The gas lines broken. We worked for 3 days straight, I think, without a break.
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job as far as the radio business was concerned. But so I said, look, I know how to handle big earthquakes. And he said, no, you don't. You don't have a clue. And this is Steve Eberlein, the guy I was talking to in the piece. Here it is. Loma Prieta was about 30 seconds of shaking. 9 magnitude on the Cascadia fault will be 5 minutes of shaking. A lot more damage. The amount of devastation, the time to recover, many, many times what the big earthquakes in California were. Months without power or gas, no running water, no toilets, of course, working, no phones. We're talking months here. No getting around in your car. First, you won't be able to buy gas. If you've got some, there's no place to go. The bridges will all be down. Any freeway with an overpass will be blocked. Even the back roads, he says, will be blocked by landslides in a lot of places. And a lot of fools are going to try to drive someplace right afterwards. The cars will all be stopped out there, and you won't be able to get through.
Wow.
So what is the first thing that you are going to now put into your kit that you were missing?
Wow. Probably the toilet stuff and the toiletries, but they have big plastic bags, and you're going to use them for your latrine. I saw an ad over the weekend for a little portable camping toilet, and I'm thinking, well, if I could buy enough chemicals for it, that would be something.
And don't forget the microphone and the old tape deck. A lot of batteries too.
Yeah, and I am one of the few people probably at this radio station. I think you are, both of you too, could walk home. A lot of people won't be able to. Bridges will be out and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I can hike up the hill and get there. Will our transmitter be on the air? Will it be on the air 3 months later? Who knows?
Right. Well, you've certainly inspired me. You know, I guess you could say we have a get-ready kit at home, but it's kind of disorganized. We camp a lot, so we have a lot of that stuff
Then you've
around.
got stuff, yeah, right.
Yeah, and my wife always keeps the pantry pretty well stocked, so we got some food in the house, but, you know, it's kind of here and there. It's all over the place. I think we need to get all of our stuff together and put it in one place.
Or make a list of where everything is and pull the list out after the quake, at least you'll know.
Yeah, nobody wants to eat just baked beans and, like, chicken broth. That's what I've got in my pantry right now.
Yeah, I was telling our producer, Eric Peterson, before you walked in, that we have water stored out in the garage, but it's been in this same old plastic container now for maybe the last 4 years, so I probably ought to get up there and change it up.
Yeah, I have a bunch of 4 or 5 gallon kitty litter things, actually, that are full of water, but I try to change them every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Well, Mark Provo, live in the newsroom, thank you so much for that report and checking in.
It was an eye-opener for me, believe me.
Yeah, it really is, for all of us. It's First Edition News Talk 860 KPAM. Another check of real-time traffic and weather on the way. KPAM News Time is 7:28.